Adrian Dater from Colorado Hockey Now joining us tonight on PointsBet All Access. Adrian, is there such thing as too much time off, and is that a realistic concern for the Avalanche heading into round two?
You know, Michael, I think anytime you're talking about rest, if it goes beyond 10 days, I think you have to start to worry. I think that's too much time off for a team, even in like training camp situations, like, you know, a preseason game or something. That's too much time off for even them to win. You know, it's hard to win when you're in the playoffs and you have that much time off. I think momentum and sort of muscle memory plays a part in how you play as a hockey team. Even if it's a Wednesday night, I think the Avs will have an advantage with the rest. The problem is, you know, the Blues have had like 5 days off now too. So I don't think the rest advantage is really the weapon anymore. It might just be, you know, how sharp have you stayed in the practice time in these last few days? And then, well, let's go from there.
Yeah, the ideal situation for the Avs would have been for the Blues and Wild to go 7, and then you really feel like you have an advantage when it comes to rest. Hey, in your mind, what is the difference going to be between the Blues and Avs this year and Blues and Avs last year when the Avs came around with a 4-game sweep in round 1?
You know, it's weird. I mean, the Avs swept them last year, and I don't think this will be a sweep this year, and yet I think the Avs are a better team than last year. So, you know, I think the Blues are a better team than they were last year going into this year's series, too. The Blues have some intangibles going for them. So what? The Avs are a hungry team. They want to get over the second-round hump. I think they will, and yet, you know, this is hockey. Hockey's a cruel game for those invested in it. It goes with, you know, bounces go either way. It can change anything at a moment's notice.
Adrian, I'm getting vibes from you that you think the Avs are going to win this series. So does it happen in 5, 6? Do you think maybe St. Louis can force it to 7?
Michael, I don't think it goes 7 games. I think the Avs are going to win in a minimum of 6 games. I don't think this will be a sweep like last year, like we just talked about. I think this Blues team is better than last year, and yet I think the Avalanche are that much better than they were last year. So I'd be surprised if this goes beyond 6 games. That said, this is hockey. This is NHL playoffs. Weird things happen. But, you know, I really think the Avalanche are ready to make that next step this time beyond the second round, and they will beat the Blues. 6 games are minimum.
We'll get you out of here on this one. I'm with you. I think the Avs win. I think it does not go to 7. I think it's minimum 6 games. But if there is one thing that concerns you about this series, what is it?
I think it still comes down to, you know, goaltending. Number one, we don't know quite still if Darcy Kemper is a money goalie. Now, when I say money goalie, that means winning final round playoff games when maybe your team doesn't have its offensive mojo that night or for whatever reason. So he hasn't proven it yet he hasn't really been given the chance to prove it yet. So I don't really come at this at a negative angle. I'm just saying that's one thing we have to worry about. You know, the rest of the series, I don't think there's a lot to worry about from the Avalanche perspective when it comes to matchups and hockey play. I think, you know, if the Avalanche just do what they have done all year, they're going to win this series.
I love it. I love it. I love that perspective. Adrian Dater from Colorado Hockey Now joining us tonight. AD, we appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me, Michael.